YouTube. Not going to play a lot today. Just did a bunch of fundamentals, trying to dial things in because I changed a bunch of stuff recently, including my mouthpiece. And I thought I would talk about the kind of line of thinking I had of actually changing this. I think a lot of us have come to a point where you're running into a problem, just kind of like butting your head against it, and you're like, what do I need to change? Is it me? Is it some part of the instrument? And you need to probably go at it in about that order to figure out what's going on. So let's talk about why I've changed away from my expensive shiny gray black to my, I think this was free actually, not shiny Bach 1 1/4 GM. So first of all, I've changed a lot of things about my playing recently. I know I always say that. It's almost always true. And the gist of it is I've made everything a lot smaller in front. My jaw is closer together. My chops are more easily compressed, easier to start notes with them together. The oral cavity is like a little more open, a little more natural, etc. Lots of little things add up to sounding better, being able to play more easily. And I've seen really massive improvements in my tenor playing especially. I play a lot of that, of course, and sometimes it's a massive struggle, but lately it's felt great, and I'm making the best sound that I've ever made on tenor trombone the most easily. Like, it's just not a chore at all. I just kind of don't get super tired playing it. I've got my whole range. I can play soft. I can play loud. It just feels really, really good. And those same improvements have not been fully realized on bass trombone. So just knowing those facts, that I've improved so much on one instrument but not the other, I can eliminate most of the me factor. I know that I'm doing some things really well. I've changed some good habits. I've changed into some good habits. So perhaps I am not the problem. So partially eliminating myself, of course, I test things out in real life. I have 3 examples of why I thought things might be a little bit amiss. First thing was, a friend of mine did a mock audition for another friend and I. He played the whole audition, and then we played some excerpts with him in a little mock section. And I was just really unhappy with my sound and how I fit into the section. I just felt like I was really wide. I couldn't get color or a really nice pitch center at the low dynamics. Couldn't get a nice clear articulation. Kept kind of just missing little things. And I was like, I don't have these problems at home, as far as I know. So that's strange. Maybe it's just the end of a long day, and I just sat there for like an hour and didn't play. Whatever. I'm just going to remember it, but I'm not going to entirely blame like myself or the instrument. So a couple days later, I played some duets with friends. There were 3 of us. We would just trade in and out. And I was playing the Edwards at the time, and I just could not get color in the sound or a nice, easy, consistent articulation to match the tenor trombone playing next to me. And I was just kind of disappointed in myself. Again, I was like, maybe it's because I've been sitting around listening to these guys play. We're in a strange setting and we're sight reading, all sorts of stuff. Another mark, like something's not quite right. And then I used the same setup, exact same thing at work at Disneyland. Used the gray black, used the Edwards with the dual bore. I think maybe for like the 2nd time. And again, I had to play really loud to get any color in the sound, to get snappy articulations. Otherwise, just everything was very kind of covered, not bad. I could still play in tune. It still wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy. And I didn't enjoy how I was blending with the people around me. And in a fit of pique, I sold 2 bass trombones, and honestly don't regret that super much. Really like this horn, and I can use it for everything, at least for the meantime. But I realized something was amiss. Tenor playing feels really good. I can do everything on it. Bass playing, not doing the same things. What's going on? And so, since I'm not getting rid of this, I was like, well, bell section is going to stay the same. Just going to make sure the valves are oiled, so that's not the problem. And then I'm going to go through all my slides, all my lead pipes, all that kind of stuff, all the easy things to change. And I would see like small improvements here or there. I got this sterling silver lead pipe that did make things a little easier, a little better articulations, faster response and stuff, but not the entire difference that I needed. It was not the lead pipe. Changed out slides. I do enjoy my sound on my accidental dual bore slide. It's really cool, but again, not entirely the issue. And I was like, well, there's one thing left, and that's the interface with my face, the mouthpiece. And so I went to my giant drawer of mouthpieces here, tried some things out, kind of progressively went smaller, tried the Lasky 90D. You know, things are a little better, but the sound is kind of thin. Doesn't really match this horn that well, and it didn't seem to make things that much easier. I tried my Griego GP6, which is easier, it's more even, and on this horn it sounds like complete butt. It really sounds super thin and kind of nasty. But I was like, well, that's maybe the right direction. Tried out my Yamaha Yo mouthpiece, and I was like, again, you know, similar, better direction. I don't really enjoy the mouthpiece though. The rim is not comfortable. I don't super enjoy the sound either. And then I picked out this that I think I got for free in a trombone that I bought years ago, and boom, everything was correct. I got that nice warm color and lower dynamics, easier articulations that are more consistent. My range is all still there. Everything was basically fixed. And I was like, well, I guess that's it. The mouthpiece has probably been wrong for a solid while now, especially with the way that I've changed playing. So that's the line of thinking I had into finding out what was wrong. First, eliminate that it's you, something here, something here, something here, who knows, and then start going through the things that it could be on the instrument, but only after you know something is wrong. Again, it's almost always the player. The equipment is the last resort, and for me, the mouthpiece is the last resort because I spent a lot of money on these mouthpieces, and I want them to work. But don't get into that sunk cost fallacy where you're like, I bought this, I have to make it work. That's not necessarily always true. It's very rarely true, and you need to find something that sounds good, not necessarily that was expensive. So that's what I got for you now. More videos coming up this week probably because I'm a little more free than usual. And that's it. Bye-bye.